I've been working in the massage industry for over 21 years through my School of Massage Essentials for Health. And I've seen a number of great changes over that time. Certainly massage has become a much more respected profession, but we still have a long way to go. And I'm becoming increasingly concerned and alarmed, particularly around what I call legislation against human nature. It's normal and natural for us to reach out to people and particularly to children when they maybe hurt themselves or feeling some grief or upset. And yet our caregivers and the people who are working with children, like foster carers and teachers, are now increasingly and alarmingly feeling less able to, and possibly even given guidelines against touching children. There's a condition known as marasmus. This is seen in young babies that don't receive enough adequate touch. And I can go as far as to say that touch is almost as important as food. Children who don't receive loving, nurturing, gentle, kind touch can often wither away and die. That's the marasmus condition. And we've seen that. We've seen years ago those film footages of children in orphanages in Romania where they would rock in their cots. And that's an indication of not receiving that loving touch that they so desperately need. And we see it in adults. As my time in social work, I saw it in mental health hospitals. That same sort of rocking that you would see in a child when they're not receiving that loving touch. So it really concerns me that we're now saying that we should be very careful about reaching out to our children and our young ones, and that we don't have time in our work as nurses and caregivers to give that appropriate, just gentle touch, maybe holding a hand or putting a hand around a shoulder. When I was a foster carer for a few years, I was actually given safety guidelines around touch. And I then became an adoptive parent, and it was really quite concerning for me that my son, who when he'd gone into foster care himself, may not have had as much loving touch as he should have had. And it was something that we used a lot to bond ourselves and become very much a family unit. Touch says 1,000 things. It says so much more than words can say. And when we touch another person, there are a number of different physiological changes in the body. So when two people touch each other in a kind and loving way, they both get a release of a hormone known as oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is well known in breastfeeding mothers. It gives the mother that nurturing sense that's so crucial to looking after her newborn infant. But oxytocin is prevalent in men as well as women, and it's increased when we touch each other. If you imagine a world where we are open to touch and able to touch each other more openly and effectively, then perhaps, just perhaps, we might find that we have a little less violence, a little less distrust in our society. Research has shown that in societies where babies are carried on their mothers' backs for the first year of life, that society is 60% less likely to be a violent society. I really hope that we can start to look at how we can make touch a positive thing in our institutions. It might be that we just need to get teachers to give parents disclaimer forms if parents are happy to have their children touched appropriately and in public by their teachers when their little ones fall over and scrape their knee. It may just be that we should be offering a little bit of training to nurses and people in care homes to give massage to people with Alzheimer's. That would really have a calming effect for somebody who had an Alzheimer's disorder. Often in hospices, massage therapists are employed to give massage because it has such a powerful effect in giving people a sense of well-being. It helps their pain control. It can help them feel better if they feel nausea after chemotherapy, if they're suffering from cancer. But those massage therapists often do it on a voluntary basis. It's time for us to respect massage for the profession it is and to ensure that it's provided within our institutions as a matter of course and a matter of care.